online tutorials. So these are just introductory tutorials so that you're familiar with some basic concepts in robotics and coding. So in this video we're going to look at how you use servo motors. So these are very pivotal in our building of robots, especially those robots that move about, picking things. You need to use motors, and you must be able to control these motors using your Arduino microcontroller. So usually it comes with these three wires. You have your red wire, which is usually your 5 volts in, your black wire is your ground, and this one is the signal wire, which now sends the code to the motor, the instructions to the motor. So you have that orange wire in most of the cases. You can always check with the manual of your servo motor, but this is usually what you find. And it's important to note here that we're going to use the smallest servo motor in this example, which can be directly powered by your Arduino. However, there are other servo motors which are quite big, and you'd require an external power source or some relays to be able to power it. So we'll look at that later on. Anyway, so let's look at the coding that's associated with your servo motor. Okay, so the first thing is, before you have your void setup and your void loop, and please remember to subscribe. We're going to be uploading some of this material on our social media platforms, so always be on the lookout for that. Remember to subscribe and also to share with friends this amazing program that we have. Okay, so let's go straight into the coding. Okay, so your void setup. So you need to set up your integer variable. Remember what we said, you need to be able to declare variables. And if you come for training, we're going to delve deep into how you declare variables. However, int stands for integer variable. So we have a variable that we'd like to name here the servo pin. So remember this wire, the orange wire, which I said is the one that's going to receive the signal or the instructions from the Arduino. So what pin are we going to put this at? So you have to decide here. So we're going to use pin 9 in this example. We're going to use pin number 9. So okay, the other thing that you have to do when you're declaring your variables there, you have to put another integer variable. In this case, it's going to be the servo position. So this servo motor rotates in angles, so you have to set the angle or the servo position. So we're going to name the variable servo position, and we're going to put the angle at 0. Remember to put those semicolons. So those are the two integer variables that we need to declare there before we start coding. What else do we need to do here? We also need to include the library. So libraries are an important part of your coding. So objects such as the servo motor are going to come with a set of libraries that help them to function. So you need to include these libraries in your coding. You need to understand what libraries are and how they are used. Anyway, so in this example, we're going to include a library. We're going to include a library that's called the servo.h library, and you have to type it like that. Include hashtag include, so it's going to show in green like that, and then you type servo.h and you close in those brackets. So this is important for you to be able to do. Otherwise, sometimes you can put on your code correctly, but the servo motor won't be able to function because you didn't include the library that enables it to function. Anyway, so let's proceed. What else do you need to put there? You need to tell the Arduino that you're going to be working with an object called the servo motor. So it needs to acknowledge that it's working with the servo motor, and you need to name the servo motor. You can give it any name. You can call it my servo, you can call it our servo, you can call it this servo, whatever you want to call it, but you need to declare it. And it's important here that you type servo, then you name the servo. So my servo. So we've declared here 1, 2, 3 things, and we've included a library here. Now it's time for us to go to the void setup. So it's important here to be able to work with the serial monitor. The serial monitor helps to display some important information. So when you want the serial monitor to be able to display information for you, you type serial.begin and you put in this code here inside a bracket, 9600, and this is what triggers on your serial monitor. So we might want the serial monitor to show us some information here. For example, the angle for the servo, the angle of the servo position. You might want to display that. Whatever information you want to display, you need to tell the serial monitor to display that by saying serial.begin, and you put your 9600. Anyway, you need to write this instruction here: my servo.attach, and then in brackets servo pin. So you're telling the Arduino that I'm going to connect my servo or attach my servo to the servo pin, in this case pin number 9. You need to tell the Arduino this at this void setup. Okay, then after that we have to go to the void loop. So on the void loop, you are going to type here my servo dot write. So you now want the Arduino to send information to the servo. What kind of information? My servo dot write what, inside the brackets, what exactly? Servo position. So we want the Arduino to tell the servo motor the position to rotate. So we have told the Arduino here in the void loop that write to my servo, or send information to my servo, the information about the position. So that is the instruction that you have to put there. And when you have done that, the next thing is to upload the code. So you can upload the code. So I will show that in this small demonstration, the movement. So the servo position here is 0. So let's see the servo.
Okay, that would.
Okay, so let's see what's going to happen to the servo. So if you upload the code, then the servo is supposed to rotate to its 0 position. Now when you change the angle, so you can come here and change the angle. Let's see what would happen there. If you put it to 90, then upload, the servo is supposed to rotate to 90 degrees. So like that. So this is how you learn your servo. You should understand that when I put 180, when I put 90, my servo is going to rotate to this to this angle. So this is what helps you to orient the servo in the real world, to say this is my 0 degrees, this is my 45 degrees. So you have to try out as many angles as possible and see it rotate, so that you can mark those angles. So when you are designing, you use this information to design what you want to design. It could be a robot that picks objects maybe at 45 degrees. So you want to understand where exactly is my 45 degrees, and you don't want to overdrive your servo. These cheap servos do not get to 180 degrees, so you should end at around 170, 175. That's also important. So you can experiment with the servo motor and see where you can use it. So after this, we're going to learn about what's called conditional logic, where now you start to use the servo motor together with some sensors. So we'll look at conditional logic, and you should always join us so that you get trained. So we'll see you at the training at Glendale Excel Academy. Thank you.